Ahoy! I'm Frank Gordon. I am right now the World Anim Soup at BioWare, but I fall into a weird category called Anim Systems Designer. And we're here with Maebe, who also does that.
Yeah. My name is Maebe Sewell. I work over at Naughty Dog. I'm a senior technical gameplay animator, which is essentially the equivalent.
I think maybe. Let's find out. What do you do?
What do I do? Okay, so broadly, it's interesting. What I do is I really learn animation. Of course, I love animation. I started as an animator, but I also learn the tools and the techniques of design teams and also our code teams. So I can speak the language of all three teams and then be able to translate to the other teams. So I can bring it back to the animation team and be like, okay, here's what we actually need for the systems that we're working on. As well, knowing the knowledge of like what all three teams want to achieve, I'll propose systems of animations for how we could potentially structure that, and I'll identify where we need to prototype and do that prototyping myself sometimes. I work with code to turn those prototypes into final tools. And it's a lot of vector math and a lot of problem solving, and it's so much fun. And also so much hell.
Yeah.
But
the being able to speak other people's languages, right?
yes.
I love to say
the code
I know,
switching, right?
Yeah, I love to say I know just enough about all the disciplines around me to be dangerous. I am a terrible programmer, but I know enough that I can speak in some type of programmer pigged in to them that helps, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get to be?
Okay. I had a bit of a long journey. Like back in school, we didn't have any courses. I was there for animation. We didn't have any courses in the games program for like how to put an animation in a game engine. Nobody knew how to do this. So I had to like teach myself how to do it in like Unreal Development Kit, like the student UDK. And there were some people that helped me out with little steps along the way. We learned a little bit of motion capture, stuff like that. And through that, I found that I was doing animations, but I actually really enjoyed doing the technical work as well. And I've always kind of had a little bit of niche there. But I was doing well enough with that they had me do seminars for the other students to show them how to do it. And I realized, like, I should have been paid for that. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I got hired at Gearbox as an animation intern, just doing animation back in 2013. And while I was there, I went from that to junior level to mid-level, and I attended my first GDC talk in 2015, or GDC in general. And during the animation summits, there was a talk, I'm blanking on who it was by right at this moment, but it was a talk by a Bungie technical designer in animation. And it was called The Missing Link. Excellent talk. I highly recommend you go back to 2015's Vault and watch that. But it inspired me. I looked at that talk, I watched it, and it was like, that's me. That's exactly what I want to do. And I know the tools to do it in our engine at Gearbox now. So I came back and I talked to my leads about it, and they're like, all right, we trust you and we believe in you, but let's find the right timing. Between Battleborn and Borderlands 3, we had a few months where it was like, we're going to switch to UE4. Everybody go learn it. Take a few months to go learn it and all that. And I taught myself how to do everything that we were doing in UE3 for animation in UE4. And I was then teaching the designers how to do it and the other animators how to do it and some of the coders on some of the things that they didn't know. And very quickly, I established the need for a department for this. And so they let me build a department and a team, and they did not want to call it TDIA. They were like, absolutely not. For whatever reason, they wanted their own unique spin, and we'll get to the naming, right? So we called it technical design animation there. And that department then very quickly proved its merit, and they let me start hiring more people for it and training people up for it. And now I'm at Naughty Dog doing that work too.
That's awesome. So I took a totally different path. So I came in originally from QA, but then I moved into cinematic design. And there was a few of us in cine design who were more technical. And we ended up faffing about trying to build like...
I love that word.
Faffing about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we were trying to build better procedural digital acting stuff. And over time, when we moved over to Frostbite, we discovered Ant. And we discovered this massive depth of animation tools. And a few of the hard animators got super into it, but a lot of us who were doing this sort of work just went,
Oh, the sparks.
Yeah. It was like waking up in a meadow all of a sudden, being able to just combine clips and do all of this super difficult hacking that we used to have to do. Just be able to build systems out of it and do that sort of take on animation. So then that went on for a little while as we were kind of digging around in Frostbite, but then over time we discovered that, like, look, we need animators to be animating, right? And we need gameplay designers to be doing gameplay design, but there's this big meaty middle of, like, how do you get between those two? And that's where we created, we call it systems animator.
I like that, actually.
So I was going to say, I like technical design animation. I don't know, I like it all. So I like systems animator because I still do move stuff around once in a while, but that's my primary job is, like, empowering the team.
Yes,
and being
exactly.
that person who an animator can come to, and it's like, I don't understand why this thing I made looks like garbage. Why is this broken? Help. And then a designer coming and saying, how do I make this pretty? What do I do, right? And being that interstitial point. So it's not tech animation, it's not animation, and it's not really design, it's a squishy middle bit.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. And I feel like there's got to be a lot of us kicking around. I feel like this has to be something that everybody has in a studio.
Yeah, not necessarily every studio, but certainly at least since 2015 when I saw that talk, I'm seeing this more and more. And there's so few of us doing this work, and it's very quickly proven itself as extremely valuable, especially in the AAA space, because, like, designers don't want to spend the time to tweak all the blend values and the frame by frames and all that. Some of them do, and more power to them. Love those designers.
Yeah, but I mean, for every one of those, there's 5 or 10 who just want to slap the animation in.
Yeah.
Somebody has to care. No, this branch window needs to be one tick over.
Or, like, we could save a ton of man hours if we stopped brute forcing this whole system, and instead we just did a little bit of RMIK or whatever system that we want to throw in there. So I think we're getting low on time here.
We got to wrap it up.
Okay, so I think our final point was, like, we need to find a consistent name for this role.
Yes, you should reach out to Maebe and I, or more Maebe. She's internet famous. I'm just some rando from Edmonton.
Oh, God, don't find my Twitter. It's a hot mess.
Anyways, thank you so much, and we need more. Come find us.
Lovely speaking with you, Gordon. Lovely to see you all.